because the rate of inflation accelerated last month, according to official data that was out a little earlier.
I think it's pretty ridiculous and a slap in the face to our allies. Like, you guys have our back, you stimulate our economy.
But to me, he's playing darts with a javelin. He's going to smash the board and cause danger to all the people around him. So the risks are that international trade gets disrupted and therefore global growth slowed.
23. Walmart superstores slam their doors shut. 700 McDonald's outlets strip off their signs. Nearly 1,000 CVS pharmacies go dark. Everything evaporates in just 24 months, leaving essential goods dead zones, pockmarking the very heart of America. From the prairie flats of Texas to the rolling hills of Ohio, countless people now drive more than 60 kilometers just to buy a carton of milk, while the sick stagger because no pharmacy stays open before dusk. Towns that once thrived on Walmart now stand with dusty, empty shelves. The dollar menu burger stand is nothing but a torn-up billboard. Even the community food bank runs dry after a single winter. The United States once boasted of being a consumer paradise, yet when groceries, medicines, and fast food all desert low-income residents at once, rural America feels abandoned inside the so-called American dream. If supermarkets, medicines, and quick meals all disappear, is America still America? Join Deep State as we expose the raw truth unfolding on U.S. soil. While New York keeps its lights blazing, the countryside faces unprecedented misery under inflation and climbing tariffs. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our latest political economic updates. The moment you set foot in the town of Dunwoody, Georgia, a for-lease sign as big as half the wall dangles from the huge steel skeleton that once housed a Walmart Supercenter. This is only one of 11 stores the biggest retailer in America has confirmed it will shut in 2025, stretching from California to Ohio. The numbers feel colder than the prairie wind. Last year, Walmart padlocked 9 more sites, including Columbus, Ohio, and Aurora, Colorado. Add the 4 Chicago superstores that suddenly vanished at the end of 2023, and just 2.5 years have turned nearly 30 24/7 megamarts into weed-grown parking lots. The impact does not stop at losing a place to shop. Brookings points out that when the big guy leaves, the entire satellite chain, from gas stations and bakeries to repair garages, instantly loses foot traffic. Local revenue drops off a cliff. In Marietta, Georgia, small businesses had to lay off 18% of their staff after the nearby Walmart closed. The corner church pastor admits donations fell by more than half, forcing him to cut Sunday charity lunches. For a town with only one U.S. highway running through, Walmart was nothing less than the final pillar just yanked away. The clearest fallout is the food desert. The U.S. Department of Agriculture calculates at least 18.8 million people live in poor counties more than 10 kilometers from a supermarket in rural areas, or 1 kilometer in urban zones. When Walmart, the single outlet selling fresh produce, disappears, the only choice left is a convenience store stocked with stale canned goods. In Scioto County, Ohio, Type 2 diabetes cases jumped 14% in the 12 months after the supercenter closed. Local doctors lament that patients eat instant noodles 3 times a day as a matter of course. Yet losing food is only half the story. CVS is entering the final year of its plan to shut 900 pharmacies nationwide, while Walgreens is preparing to shutter another 1,200 outlets. Since 2019, America has lost more than 7,000 drugstores, most of them in low-income neighborhoods. A study in Chicago shows 32.6% of areas of color have become pharmacy deserts, whereas that figure in white neighborhoods is only 1.2%. When blood pressure pills require a 50-kilometer drive, expired tablets suddenly become dangerous neighbors right on the kitchen shelf. Even Walmart's own firefighting effort has failed. Last April, the corporation announced it would close all 51 Walmart health centers and its telehealth service because the model is not sustainable. Instead of filling a medical gap, it left a deeper service crater, where hypertensive patients must choose between pausing their medication or taking out a quick loan for gas to reach the nearest big town. A few lawmakers call for tax incentives to keep superstores in place, but with an operating margin under 3%, Walmart needs only a single soft quarter to hit the eject button. The result? A town that relied on a single brand turns ghost overnight. When the last steel shutter rolls down, the empty shelf space is just the surface. The empty faith is the real blow. People ask one another, with no supermarket, no medicine, and fast food. Now a memory. Can this land still be called the American dream, or is it merely a ghost of the past? When the golden arches go dark in the countryside, McDonald's blazes neon over Times Square. The corporation has just opened a self-proclaimed world's most advanced flagship in Manhattan, while rolling out a triple-lane drive-through clear over in Dubai. Yet behind the city lights hides a quiet retreat. Inside Walmart alone, McDonald's has erased more than 650 in-store counters since 2012, leaving barely 150, meaning nearly 80% of those fast food gateways and discount superstores are gone, mostly in rural counties where average incomes sit below $45,000 USD a year. The town ritual, fill up the tank, grab a Big Mac, has become an empty shell waiting for a Domino's or a local bakery to move in. The discount gap widens as Dollar Tree, once promising everything for $1 USD, concedes it will shut up to 600 Family Dollar outlets in the first half of 2024 and another 370 between 2025 and 2027, pushing total closures to nearly 1,000. Worse, the chain quietly lifts its ceiling from $1.25 to $1.50 on many shelves, while warning that Q2 2025 profits could dive 50% because new import tariffs are driving wholesale costs beyond absorbable. In other words, the only $1 life raft for low-income shoppers is leaking just as the storms of inflation and tariffs hit. In the fast casual world, Applebee's, the family bar once blanketing suburbia, has shut more than 300 restaurants since 2017 to weed out money-losing sites and funnel cash into door-to-door delivery apps. The Friday date night crowd loses its haunt, and towns lose their largest part-time employer after the high school. For every sign that goes dark in suburbia, another LED board glows brighter in a wealthy zip code. Applebee's is doubling down on ghost kitchens in Dallas and Miami, where each square foot yields twice the revenue of a conventional store. Kids Party Haven. Chuck E. Cheese now plans to roll around just 250 locations, less than half its pre-pandemic peak. And Sears, a one-time retail titan, is officially contracting to a mere 5 stores, according to this week's CoStar forecast, enough to make every 80s-90s kid feel their childhood memories wiped away. Each vanished logo isn't merely a brand leaving the market, it's a lost community emblem, where children got their first shopping voucher, where families bought Christmas outfits, where the plumber cashed his Friday check. Together they draw a reverse migration map. Brands abandon poor zones to chase profit in affluent cities and overseas markets, pouring money into food delivery apps. Models that need no parking lots and pay no rural healthcare benefits. Trump-era tariffs accelerate the cull. Pricier imported steel, aluminum, and beef force restaurants to axe low-traffic sites, raise menu prices, then market their delivery app as the smart choice instead of a 30-kilometer drive. In that whirlpool, low-income residents take the hit, losing part-time jobs, weekend diners, even the comfort of a place to stop in town. One nagging question hangs. As fast food outlets, dollar stores, and nostalgic retail chains pull up stakes, can the slice of America left in the countryside still claim the title Land of Plenty? Or is it only an essential goods desert stretching across the prairies? U.S. retail profits are being shaved down to pennies. Q1 2025 filings show Walmart's operating margin, a chain that slices prices to the bone, down to just 4.33%, while industry-wide labor costs climb 3.4% annually, according to the Labor Department's latest ECI. Meanwhile, post-tariff inflation has spiked to 2.7%, the 6-month high, as 25% duties on household goods and food seep into grocery receipts. With margins now scraping bottom, listed corporations must prove to Wall Street they can cut losses, and the first cut always falls on low-income counties, where sales per square foot are smallest, but warehouse rents swell because commercial property loans are sliding into default. Delinquencies hit 1.56% at end 2024, half again higher than pre-pandemic. The near-term fallout is plain. Walgreens, the classic corner drugstore, says it will close 1,200 sites before 2027, insisting the move will immediately improve EPS. Dollar Tree, once sworn to everything for a buck, lifts its price cap to $1.50 and shutters nearly 1,000 underperforming shops. Each rolling shutter costs rural America another part-time job, an ATM, and, more crucial, a sole source of low-cost prescriptions within dozens of kilometers. University of North Carolina data show 149 rural hospitals have closed since 2010, leaving emergency gaps across 34 states. When a retail shock piles onto a healthcare shock, the essential service dominoes fall faster than locals can find replacements. Consumer flow now heads straight online. Census Bureau figures reveal e-commerce took 15.9% of total retail sales in Q1 2025, double its share a decade ago. Yet 28% of rural Americans still lack broadband, and households that do connect pay up to 37% more per month than city dwellers. So while Amazon Prime promises 4-hour produce delivery in Manhattan, a Kansas homemaker must track the lone daily bus to reach the wholesale market. The digital divide quietly turns online shopping into an urban privilege, kicking rural areas another rung down the ladder of no food, no meds, no net. Federal policy pours on fuel. Brookings estimates only 2% of the more than $1 trillion USD in CHIPS, IRA, and IIJA funds is earmarked rural, with the rest flowing to metro areas that already boast infrastructure and tech talent. The Opportunity Zone tax break likewise funnels 2/3 of its projects into major cities. The result? Two Americas, pulling farther apart. One a glittering tech hub, the other a parking lot overgrown where a supercenter once stood. The chain reaction outstrips wallets. When a steel frame shell sits empty, petty crime rates around abandoned properties rise an average 19%, a figure flagged by Case Western Reserve in its study of zombie real estate. At the same time, mobile young people keep leaving town, stretching an already thin healthcare network past capacity. ER waits now end in transfers to hospitals 100 kilometers away. The darkest damage isn't in spreadsheets but in psychology. When 4 lease banners blanket Main Street, community trust collapses faster than any balance sheet. Caught in this loop, every new tariff salvo and every fresh corporate cost cut only digs the divide deeper, turning the rural American dream into an echo bouncing off dusty supermarket shelves. On empty shelves and fallen signs, the American dream shows a chilling crack. When essentials, jobs, and even childhood memories leave, community trust quietly evaporates. A clearer question has never struck Capitol Hill. Will Washington pour money into infrastructure, cheap credit, and incentives for retail and healthcare to return, or let food, medicine, and opportunity desserts spread across the map? Will record-breaking spending packages reach your town or park in a neon-lit metro? America's portrait now glows in 2 stark tones: dazzling tech hubs and shadow-drenched prairies. What do you see through your window? A spark of rebirth or a headline of exodus? Is this still the America you once knew? The answer lies in your voice. Leave a comment below the video and don't